I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, activity reports. I don't have much. I had Night to Unite, and we had a policies and procedures meeting a couple weeks ago. That is all I have. And tonight we do have a hearing at 6:30, so if we're not done by then, we'll close at 6:30 for the hearing. And then budget funding requests will be at 6:15, or sooner if we are ready. So, down at the other end, Neil?
I had a policy and procedure meeting Wednesday the 31st, discussed department head
Contract.
3-year contracts and negotiations. That went well. I think it's on the agenda tonight for some. And then a week ago, I took a little tumble, broke 2 ribs, but in a week I'm back representing our taxpayers. So you have to put up with me if I groan and moan.
Well, we've been doing it this far, Neil, so that's okay.
Meg, your turn.
I had a budget and finance meeting where we talked about the preliminary 2025 budget. I had the Night to Unite as well, and I attended the summer social with the Painesville Area Community Foundation.
Well, that was short.
Yeah, that's all I
And
have.
Paul, you
I don't have anything to report.
Department heads, Tark is not here, but we will do Paul.
Thank you. So not a whole lot. Just wanted to let you know, Night to Unite, we had a good turnout again. We had absolutely gorgeous weather.
Beautiful. Really nice.
Could not have asked for anything better. I think we probably served anywhere between 250-ish, 300 people the evening. In your guys' packets, you'll notice that our biannual body-worn camera audit was complete. There was only one deficiency, which was our policy. Apparently the legislature made some changes, so those have been updated, so we are in compliance now, and the policy has added whatever new stuff, fun stuff we came up with. And then just give you an update on on Officer Cater. He is currently in his 2nd phase. The hope is that by about October, he should be out on his own.
Good. Anybody have any questions for the chief? Nope. Okay, Ron?
Okay, thank you. First of all, AMPI Phase 2, just information or update on that. AMPI and the landowner adjacent to it could not come to an agreement on access to get to this property. So we looked at it and we're proposing to go around the north side of the aeration basin. Being that will be on our property, we kind of both agreed that our engineer should take do the design on that road. They've agreed to that and to pay that amount. But they did approve everything. It's in the informational, you can see that. And they also did approve their engineer provost to start on the design. I think their schedule is to have the design complete sometime in January, bid out, and start construction immediately next April. So, as soon as we have the legal description of the easement, we'll get that over to Bill, and we can finish off the purchase agreement with the MPI and get the check for that. The airport, the air show, remember, is the 24th next week, so it's coming quick. This Thursday is the last concert in the park series. Training, I was up at the EMWOA meeting. Quite a bit of information up there. There was a lot on the PFAS. They don't know, or EPA is not sure exactly which way they're going with everything or where all the limits are going to be set, but they are working on it. Our 3rd round samples have been taken. We don't have any results back yet. 4th round will be, I believe it is in November. So, there was also a session on biosolids. I renewed my license for that. It was an interesting session on the DAP versus SAF. DAP is what the AMPI is proposing to put in. It is old technology, works very well. SAF, that is more of a suspended aeration flotation, where they actually electrify the oxygen molecules, and that helps to flow. Made them aware of this here, new technology, and they will be looking at it. So that's all I have.
Anybody have any questions for Ron? Okay, moving on. We have our public forum. Anybody here to speak? It's 10 minutes if anybody wants to talk about anything. If not, we'll move on to the agenda. We'll do the consent agenda. We have minutes on page 1 that were emailed out for the city council, joint council, and the park and tree board meetings. And then vouchers totaling $453,187.34. And then we have a liquor store clerk resignation, Jennifer Berg. And then sewer installer license for Hoffman Construction, and offer update surplus for the truck bed box. From, let's see, looks like we sold it for $8,000. The 2011, oh, that's the whole truck. We haven't, are you gonna sell the box for that 1,600? That seems kind of low.
Well, the truck, the bid was $8,623, and the box sold for $1,675.
Right. Okay. That is our consent agenda. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to pull or leave? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's made by Paul, seconded by Neil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Sean would like to leave, so we're going to go to old business on page 37, because he's got something he wants to discuss.
I mean, if you're going to say I have something else to do, it's called a nap. No, unfortunately, unlike Neil, recovering from brain surgery means takes a lot to concentrate. I can't be back after a week. I'm hoping to be back for our next meeting, but I wanted to talk about this rain barrel proposal, and maybe we can enact it tonight, maybe we can't. I have talked to Tractor Supply Company, though. They are excited to get on board with this, and I understand they may have even ordered some stock already, which is why I asked that this be put on this agenda rather than waiting until the next meeting when I expect to be back. Basically, the idea is partner with Tractor Supply in sort of a private-public partnership where Tractor Supply would sell discounted rain barrels to residents for like $40 or $50. They're usually, I think the one I have in here is about $120 is the retail sticker price. So residents would get it significantly discounted. The city would then pick up whatever the difference is between what it's sold to this resident for and the cost to Tractor Supply. And that, so the city would end up paying about $50, 40 or 50. So essentially, residents pay half, the city pays half. Start with a pilot program of like 15 or 20 of these, see how it works, and then possibly expand it next year with funds potentially coming from the Wellhead Protection Program to do it again next year. But just as a start off, take monies out of the water and sewer fund, because this is taking rainwater that would otherwise just go into our storm system. Granted, it's not much with the amount of water we've had this year, but every little bit still helps. So it's an idea I had. I brought it to the environmental board. That board met the day before I had surgery, so I wasn't able to be there. But I understand there was some discussion about how ideas like this get generated and how they get before that board. And I think for better or worse, and Ron, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody sort of stumbled over that facet of it and never got into the nuts and bolts of whether or not this is a good idea. That's how it was relayed to me. That could be wrong. But I thought it was important knowing that Tractor Supply is on board, wanting to build a relationship with them in this program. They're excited because it means that it brings people into their store. They're selling these at cost or maybe at a little bit of a loss, but they know that it brings people in and those people will be looking at other things to buy in the store as well. So they're excited for it from a business perspective. I think it makes sense from a city perspective. We're taking care of our stormwater system as best we can, helping to save some wear and tear on the well pumps in years where we don't have biblical amounts of rain. So I'd ask for the support, at least a showing tonight of whether or not the council's behind this. And if they are, I can go to Tractor Supply and get definite numbers, or we can move with the numbers that we sort of have based on this, but that's where I'm at. If anybody has any thoughts or questions, I can.
What do we do with the water after the barrels are full?
They would just be used to water gardens and things like that.
Okay, that's what I kind of figured, but.
Yeah.
How many did you say you want to do in the preliminary rollout?
So I thought we could budget this year for like 15 to 20. Residents could come in, apply at City Hall for like a quick permit, something that they could bring to Tractor Supply that says, yep, here I go, here's what it is. That way Belinda knows that she's writing a correct voucher when she's paying Tractor Supply for it. 15 or 20 was just sort of what Ryan from Tractor Supply thought he could maybe get this year and what he was comfortable with holding on hand in case we said no. He didn't want to have too much stock either. We also don't know how many are going to sell when we don't really need rain barrels this year.
If I could just interject, we did this program through the wellhead protection probably about 15 years ago.
Let's see if that's,
Yes, and I believe we sold about 20 of them back then. But that program, people had to run, I think it was the Buffalo Pick 'em Up. It wasn't a local program. I think it was through the wellhead program, and the SWCD was involved in it also. Yeah, I think it's a very good program. Granted, it makes very little difference, but every little bit does count. And I think that, according to your letter there, that the funds are gonna come out of the Stormwater Utility Fund.
Why did the environmental board not reach a conclusion?
I think they more or less got sidetracked. And
As a
also,
former member of the
if you
environmental board, I'm
you look at
shocked
the-
and surprised.
makeup of the board, the majority of the members present were from the township, and they kind of shrugged
Yeah,
their shoulders that
They don't
it
care.
really didn't pertain to them.
right.
okay, thank you.
So, hearing all that, any other questions? Anybody?
I just have a little concern when we partner with a business. I'm not so sure that's,
It's a local business.
I know, but a couple guys at Public Works talked about it. And they weren't really on board, I guess, is what I would say.
I guess in my thinking, we're partnering with businesses all the time by the products we buy. We're buying gasoline at every gas station, spreading it around. We're buying things all over town. So I guess
Now, what this is promoting,
it's promoting the rain barrels, not the business. If they want to buy a rain barrel somewhere else, they're more than welcome. We just got a deal offered to us from them. I would guess that if Fleet had the rain barrels too, that we would honor them there.
I haven't talked to
Your
Fleet to see if they were on board. I started with who was in town.
Yeah,
And given the overwhelming positive reception that Ryan from Tractor Supply gave me, I stopped there because they're in city limits.
So what does anybody think?
I don't see any major issues with it. I mean, I guess.
that a motion?
Why not? Would you like it to be a motion, Jim? Yes, I will move to accept this proposal.
Is there a
I need
second?
to,
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion? No? Okay. Motion's been made by Megan, seconded by Paul to do the rain barrel proposal of working out all the details. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
opposed.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, it passed 3-1. 2. 1, 2, 3. I gotta count, there's 4 of us.
Thank you all.
Okay, it's time for us to go back to our budget funding requests. And I believe the first one on the agenda is the Historical Society, because you were here first. I think you're listed first, too.
Thanks, Gene. I plan on being back at the next meeting, everyone.
Yep, thank you. So, Reed's going to do a little this time, and so I don't have to.
Well, I'd like to thank the city council for all their support in the past years, because without the support of you guys, we cannot keep our doors open. And I'm not going to read the letter that was sent out because you all got that. We're asking for the same that you gave last year, $5,500. With that, and our sponsors and our membership and stuff, I think we're keeping up with the bills right at the moment. And that's all we can ask for. We just got done with kids camp. The last one was today. I'm a little tired right at the moment. It's been a long day. We had 53 kids there. And of 53, probably close to all 3 times that we had it. And of those 3, the kids that are come, 50 to 60% are from outside Painesville. So we're bringing in a lot of outsiders into town that hopefully they drop their kids off and hopefully they'll go do other things in town while they're here. And they're from all the way from Minneapolis to Foley to Benson.
Kimball, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a big expanse. And that money is from sponsors. Majority of that sponsors is from out of town. Sponsors for that. Because that's kind of an extra thing, and we were trying to get it to go, and it was pretty much a big success. And so that money didn't even come from our general fund, which we need to keep that separate so we have enough time and money to pay the electric bill and the heating bill and everything else that we have. So I just wanted to let you guys know that we do appreciate everything. Even from Ron helps us out once in a while for things, and we do appreciate that very much. And we also appreciate your funding for us. We think we're an asset to Painesville, and we're trying to grow and be a bigger asset to Painesville. So, thank you.
Thank you. I
Any
should say that-
questions?
No, yeah, that's it. You can sit down now. I'll just mention that nothing's decided tonight. It's just for budgeting purposes so that we know what you're requesting. So next we have the green roof, Sally, et cetera.
It feels like I just did this.
Up to you.
So I'm Sally Zumwald. I'm the director of the Green Roof Area Center, and this is Sandy Smith. She's our treasurer. So again, just coming to ask for funding again for our programs at the Green Roof Area Center, and programs meaning arts and crafts, and it's, yes, it's a senior center, but we are still bringing in younger people as well. So different programs will bring in some 30 to 40-year-olds and some 90-year-olds, and we sit and do crafts together and talk and keep each other entertained. And if that stops, that would not be a positive thing for anyone involved at the center. So that's what we're here asking for, same as last year. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to say? Sure. Okay. So I'm fairly new to town, and sitting in the office at the senior center is, I don't know, humbling. It's very sweet people coming in there because they don't have any other place that they really have to go, and it's an amazing place. I'm looking forward to going there when I get a little bit older. And yes, funding at the same level as last year would be great. I have noticed, I started 9 months ago, I have noticed that the expenses for our fundraising are higher than, obviously, everything is higher right now. Our fundraising is going very well at the same levels as before, but the costs are higher. The place is a great place. You guys probably know that, but thank you.
You must be here for community ed, Melody, huh?
Neil's got a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
On, Sally,
Sal,
I think this year, didn't we do like 5 contribution and 3 in-kind snow plowing?
I believe so.
And that, we're gonna continue with the snow plowing? That's what we wanna,
That'd be great, that'd be great. Budget for it.
is that our plan, Ron, kinda?
Unless I get told differently, yes.
That's what I recommend anyhow, so.
and you're on the budget and finance, so you know, yeah. Okay. That answers.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. We'll see you next year.
No, we won't.
Maybe.
Hi, I'm Melody. I'm the program coordinator with Community Ed. Chris O'Brien was unable to make it tonight. She had another meeting she had to be at, so she sent me. A little bit about Community Ed. We do programming for Community Ed members or community members from birth to age 99 plus. And when I say 99 plus, we just had a lady sign up that's 93 years old for our driver's 55 Alive class. Just this year alone, from January 1st to today, we've taken over 1,600 enrollments. Like I said, from birth to age 99. Most of those enrollments are from people that live right here in our community, right in Painesville. And with continued financial support from you guys, we are able to offer low-cost programming, such as like our recreational sports and enrichment opportunities for both youth and adults. We also do the Concert in the Park series during the summer, just different things from Toddler Tuesdays all the way up to some 55 plus type of stuff. We also serve over 100 school-age children with our school-age childcare programming. And your dollars have helped fund all these activities throughout the years. We really appreciate your continued support and financial contributions if you choose to continue that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have anything, questions for Melody? It's the same that we've done for the last 4 years, I think, or 5. Amount hasn't changed. All right. We got 5 minutes till we have our next hearing. So, next on our agenda is moving up into old business, the department head benefits, which we had a meeting at Policies and Procedures about, and we agreed to these recommendations. Anybody have any questions on it? There's 3-year contracts for Tarek and Paul, and then some language for both Bill and Ron in their agreements, which they do not have regular contracts.
3% of the annual salary,
It's 3.5,
or three, yeah.
yeah. Yep.
The amount before the fixed amount, was that 2,500?
It was, so Tark, I believe, was 25, Ron, myself and Bill, I think we're 1,700.
Now we're doing 3 and 5 for all.
3.5,
Right.
yep. That was we basically, a lot of it followed along with the union contracts for the, you know, most everything in the contracts were almost the same as like for the police one, but with the police union contract, so. It's pretty much that. Anybody else have any questions or comments on it? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion for the contracts.
I'll make a motion to have the Public Works Director and Liquor Store Manager receive the wage increases and benefits as outlined under AFSCME union contract, plus a change in the matching retirement plan from a fixed amount to 3.5% of their annual salary payable monthly.
Second.
Okay, anybody have anything else? Yeah, this is just, we have, the next motion is on the contracts. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was first. But this is theirs. Okay. Any more comments? Questions? Okay, all those in favor as written on the action sheet and Paul reiterated.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passed. For all in favor. Now we have the contracts, which we already discussed. But there'll be two motions. The first one is because we're following basically the contracts with two different unions. So,
Well,
So I think, Gene, actually, Tark's and my contract are still sitting with the city attorney, the labor lawyer,
oh,
so they're actually not on this agenda.
oh,
well, this is for the non-union people.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is Paul and,
Yeah, that's not,
Tark,
as I understood in talking with Tark, Tark's and my contracts actually aren't on here.
I think it's the non-union.
I thought it meant like the ones that decided not to pay union dues.
oh, I see.
Correct.
We have a few of those.
There's so many of these I can't.
I think
Okay, we're
that's
gonna
what-
get done sometime this year on these contracts.
This
and things.
isn't the actual contract.
Okay, this is like for the employees that have chosen not to join the
There's a
union.
fancy word for that, but.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember what it,
Fair share,
that's it.
fair share.
Right.
All right, so do we have motions for these?
Why are we, well, okay, we can discuss after.
No, we can discuss.
Well, what are we, I guess, as somebody who previously had chosen to join the union, why, you know, I mean, then what is the,
These are basically, they're getting the same thing that the union employees are. We're just,
but why? If they're not paying dues and they're not having a voice at the table, then,
We're offering them
because
the
they still
same
have a
contract.
we're offering them the same contract.
They're doing the same
They're
work.
doing the same jobs, they're just,
And
so what protections does the union offer that they're not, so I guess, what's the incentive to join the union if there's no,
I wouldn't join it if my life depended on it, so.
yeah, well, yeah, which is fair, but then,
I guess grievances and the contract itself, the union fights for,
so,
which they wouldn't have, you know, they don't vote on the contract. They don't have a vote.
so they don't have a vote is the only difference?
Well, and if there's a grievance, they don't have representation of the union, representatives. So, that sort of thing.
so having just gone through the labor and negotiation training with our actual labor lawyer, I think the big difference is just, they actually just don't get a vote. In theory, the protections and everything else are still there, as I understand it. They just don't have any say over what goes into the contract, because they don't have a vote or a voice in the contract. I actually don't believe that we can, and Bill, you can maybe speak to this, or Susan certainly can, but I don't believe we can actually, like, do anything but give them the same contract. Otherwise, we end up in a
Yeah.
unfair labor practice situation. So realistically, all of our employees could say we don't want to pay in union dues, and this union would still have to protect them.
Well, that would be, then they'd be basically disbanding the union.
So-
All of them have agreed to that.
But, so that's kind of the difference.
Okay.
So, if that clarifies things for everybody, let's have a motion to approve the wage increases and benefits for the non-union employees. Administration, liquor store, and public works departments.
I'll make that motion to approve the ASME 25 to 27 contract
Okay,
for those employees for admin, liquor, and public works.
is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion, questions? It's clear as mud?
No, it's good.
Okay, all those in favor of the first motion for the ASME peoples, or non-ASME peoples, the non-union workers? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and the second motion before we have our hearing was for all the people that are here. For the non-contract police officers, do we have any?
Yeah, so that's
Some of
gonna
the
be,
part-timers, I suppose.
it's gonna be our part-timers and our SROs.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I kind of figured. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll also make that motion to
Okay.
approve the wage increases and benefits for LELS 25 to 27, contract for police officers who are eligible to be part of the union or are non-members of the union.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made by Neil, seconded by Megan, as written on the action sheet, the non-union police. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we have to close for our cannabis moratorium public hearing.
Everybody get out.
Yeah, everybody get out. No, it's a hearing.
Yeah.
Since we have nobody here, we'll reopen our meeting and continue onward. I don't know what we're gonna do, if the truth be known. So, now we're at that point in the motion to approve or deny the ordinance 53, third series, an interim ordinance authorizing a study and imposing a moratorium on the operation of cannabis. I thought it was only the growing. That's the only thing that can be done right now anyway, is growing, isn't it?
Right, nothing else
Yeah.
can happen until the first of the year.
Right.
Growing is the only thing that can happen between now and the first of the year.
And we're doing this moratorium only till the end of the year, correct?
Correct.
Just double checking, just what I thought. So how does everybody feel?
Well, it's only 4 months to go, so
Yeah.
And there's much more information needs to be gathered before we,
I think there'll be much more coming.
the
in the next few
county
months.
went this way, and I guess I'm ready to make the motion if there's no further discussion.
I don't think there is any, we've discussed it already once or twice.
I'll make the motion to approve the ordinance number 53, third series, interim ordinance authorizing a study and imposing a moratorium on the operation of cannabis businesses.
Is there a second?
second.
Motion's been made by Neil and seconded by Paul to approve the ordinance number 53, third series, an interim ordinance authorizing a study and imposing a moratorium on the operation of cannabis businesses. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I
That's,
would suggest that there should be some discussion of who's going to do the study.
You.
I believe that was in the ordinance, wasn't it, policy and procedures?
Does it say that? Okay.
I believe I read that.
I thought I did too, but it just gives us more
City
work.
staff is directed to conduct a study and gather information.
Oh, yep, city staff is directed to,
Oh, that's,
section 2.
Section 2,
Well,
And I know there's been some emails going back and forth. There's some people, I think Tark and Bill are interested in looking at these issues, so that's probably good
that's,
enough. I
then we'll just go with what's in the ordinance, city staff.
Works for me.
They can designate who that should be.
Sounds good.
All righty. Okay, moving on. The proposed fee schedule that we got sent, and now we have an update on it. Budget and Finance discussed this and went over the fees.
I was unable to make that meeting. Tarek isn't here, and neither, I was wondering why we took, maybe Paul knows, no longer charging for food trucks.
I saw that too.
We just, from what I recall from that meeting, it was just
Oh, yeah, you were
that,
there.
well, I mean, in theory.
There's a relative term.
Yeah, I'm still getting my feet as far as the, budget and finance goes, but, I think it was just, it hasn't been used that much, and it was just felt by a lot of the committee that it's, the more food trucks we can have or bring in for special occasions, why not? And if it's that much of a deal, I mean, then, but it's still requiring them to abide by the ordinance that we set
Like
up as
so
far
many
as
feet
distance.
from,
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Establishment.
check.
Absolutely, yes, it's only the
Can't
fee.
park in certain
Yes,
areas.
it's only the fee. It didn't change anything about the ordinance, about where they can or can't be, or how often they can or can't be in a certain.
Do they need to get permits or anything?
Yes.
Still need to get the permit, yeah.
Okay.
So the only thing that's changing is, or that the recommendation was removing the fee. I think we've had 2 this year. So we're not talking serious impact to the budget. But as we look to try and expand into different events that potentially bring in food trucks to the community, we kind of saw the fee as maybe more of a hindrance, for doing that sort of a thing.
Yeah, and-
But it was clear that, we wanted the regulations to stay. So we still wanted them to get the permit. That way, when we give them the permit, we can also give them the regulations so they understand what is required of them when they get their permit.
And if I recall, one of the main food trucks that has paid the fees and has done other things is the Firehouse coffee truck. And, it's a lot of times if it's like a local business like that that is
Right.
giving back to the community so much and doing it really, and at the firefighter events and all of those things, it kind of just felt like,
Well, most of the food trucks too, don't they have to pay county and state already too, or county anyway?
yeah.
Gotta have a license.
They've got to at least get their food license and
Right.
go through all those hoops and regulations.
Yeah,
And then I see, oops, that was,
close.
I talked to Jennifer last week and I said, I looked this thing over. What about our golf carts?
Yeah.
And
'Cause
she
we've been
said it never made it to the fee
Never got on
schedule.
here.
So that's on the revised.
Yep.
I don't know, it was 16 when we came up with those rates. I think they could go up a little bit too. I wasn't able to make finance. I did send Tarek a email and I said, you look at our fee schedules and you look at 20 to 30% inflation in the last 4 years, everything should go up. But and I guess we can leave golf carts another year and hit that next year. I mean,
There'll always be some every year.
I don't think we want to beat the horse
Get
to
one.
death. But there are areas that could still increase, and like I say, when you look at our dramatic inflation, anybody that doesn't raise prices, you're only shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah,
Everybody is.
but
And the one new one, just so you guys know on here, is the peddler permit for those that failed to get it.
Yes.
We've had several issues with that this year, but we can never find an actual fee or fine associated with it, so.
Yeah, I saw it on there and I was wondering, why is this on here now?
We're getting a
Can you
lot
just
of
explain it?
complaints, yeah, about,
And this is for people going door to door,
Correct. So we've got a fee
not
that,
the annoying phone calls.
correct. I can't do anything about those.
But those trucks driving around town trying to, yeah,
yes.
I've heard about that too.
Trying to fix your roof that doesn't have
Doesn't have an
any hail
issue,
damage?
yeah, yeah,
And there's been a lot this year, so.
yes. All right, do we have a motion to approve the suggested fees and direct the city attorney to draft the necessary resolution?
I'll move to approve the suggested fees and direct the city attorney to draft the necessary resolution to be brought to a future meeting for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Megan and seconded by Neil to approve the suggested fees and direct the city attorney to draft the necessary resolution to be brought to a future meeting for approval. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that passed. Moving on, school resource officer. Somebody asked me today who it was. I said, I have no idea. I don't go to school. Don't have much to do with school.
So our school resource officer is still Tony LaPaca and then also Chris Hagstrom. They split those duties.
Okay.
Tony's been here for 5 years now. He's in his 5th year, or in his 6th year now. So what you guys have before you is an updated agreement or memorandum of understanding between the City of Painesville, Painesville PD, and the Painesville School District. This program started in about 2014, 2015. And honestly, there hasn't been a lot of adjustments to it since then. We had discussed some increases, but those never really came to fruition at the time of discussion. The superintendent and I, we've talked about it and both agree that, something needed to be done. So we used to work on a year-to-year agreement. This one we've set up as a 3-year agreement, so this would go through the 26-27 school year. The biggest change that's in here is really just the financial portion. With the wages and everything else increasing, we needed to do something to kind of cover our costs. So for the 2024-25 school year, the cost, or the school would be paying the city $18,000 a year, 25 to 26, 19,500, and then in 26-27, 21,000. And this would be for the same number of hours that we've been doing over the last almost 10 years now.
Anybody have any more questions?
This is kind of based on the new contract.
Some of this was based on the new contract. Some of it's just based on generally what was going to be reasonable, for them.
And the school is acceptive of this?
Yep, Janelle and I have actually already signed it. She's talked to their board and they're fine with it. She knew that this was coming and they had budgeted for it, so this was not an issue for them. It is definitely something in the years to come that I would say we want to build in more of the percentage escalators in there to keep up with what our wages are.
And how often are they there again?
So they are there, I believe we've got them budgeted for 460 to 500 hours a year.
Okay.
A school year.
Yep, during the school year. We would like to do more. I know that the principals would like us there more, but like everything, that comes at a cost.
Yeah. From what I understand, they're generally pretty well liked at the school and appreciated, so that's
Well, I
nice.
can see in the future increasing hours,
Yeah.
definitely.
They do a good job and, we're not your typical SRO program. A lot of SROs are there to deal with criminal stuff. They're there to deal with behavioral things. We've made it very clear, our SROs are there to be a bridge and to bridge the gap between law enforcement and students. They are there as a resource to the students, and to have a more officer-friendly, if you will, approach to things. We specifically restrict them from doing any sort of discipline with the district. We want that completely separate so that law enforcement isn't always seen as the disciplinarians.
All right, is somebody wishing to make a motion to approve this?
I'll move to approve the memorandum of understanding for school resource officers between the city of Painesville, Painesville Police Department, and the Painesville School District, and to authorize the mayor to sign the document.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made by Megan and seconded by Neil to approve the memorandum of understanding for school resource officer between the city of Painesville, Painesville Police Department, and the Painesville School District, and authorize the mayor pro tem to sign the document. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have two things off our update. One is, the first one is a set a hearing for variance for Cronus Brewing. So we just need a motion to set a hearing for their variance on Monday, August 26th at 6:30.
I'll move to set the Coronis Brewing Properties LLC variance public hearing for Monday, August 26, 2024 at 6:30 PM.
And the variance is for
Parking.
reduced parking.
Yeah.
Yep. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Megan, seconded by Paul, to set Cronus Brewing Properties LLC variance hearing on Monday, August 26th at 6:30 PM. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item off of our update, the last item, is airport grant. Oh. You guys get to talk down at that end.
Yeah, I can take this one. As council may recall, earlier this year in the spring, we opened bids for a sort of a crash repair project at the airport on the runway and apron. At that point, we submitted a grant request to the FAA, and this is sort of their normal timing. So in your packet is a copy of the grant request, grant agreement for the federal portion, which covers 90% of that project. So it's $165,019. So if the council wishes to continue to proceed, we would need approval for the grant agreement.
Do we have a motion to ask for some money from the feds?
So moved.
Hey, Megan,
I'll second.
Paul. Motion was made by Megan, seconded by Paul to accept the FFA grant offer in the amount of $165,000, $65 and $19 for the reseal of the airport apron, runway, and 2 taxi lanes project, and authorize the city administrator and city attorney to sign the documents. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passed. So all I have left is informational. And then we're done for tonight. I have to get to informational. There it is. It's got the big black letters. We have AMPI, a report. What is that for?
Purchase order.
Ron could explain it if you want.
Bill to Associated Milk Producers. Okay.
That is the purchase order, identifying what they have done for the land and the donation to the park.
Oh, okay. Thanks. And we have the audit report that Paul referred to in his report. And then we have, but that's a lot of pages. I'm trying to get to the bottom here. His other report of all the calls and miles and et cetera on their vehicles and overtime. So I believe that's it for, and so if there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Nobody has anything else?